You're tuned into news across the galaxy where they talk all things LA Galaxy with the Nag Boys. Let's start nagging.
What's up, fellow G's and MLS sickos? Welcome to News Across the Galaxy's The Midweek Show. I'm your host, as always, Edgar Zuniga. What's up, Brian? Where's my horns, man? Oh, I get the clap. Thank you. As usual, on the ones and twos, it's Bryant. He gets the horns. And joining us once again to talk about Portland Timbers FC, coming all the way from León, Guanajuato, Mexico, it's our good friend Luis El Fiero Viajero Olenek of the Keep. What's up, buddy?
What's up, guys? Happy to be back. Thanks for having me on again.
Luis, Galaxy and Portland played each other just 5 weeks ago, but because of the congested schedule, for us at least, Galaxy have played 7 matches since then, and I know it wasn't that long ago, but it certainly feels like it has been an eternity, especially with this struggling team, man. It's just, yeah, like when they say, when you're having fun, time flies by, but man, when you're struggling, when you're going through some agony, yeah, it feels like it's eternal. But nevertheless, hey man, welcome back. How you been since we last saw you? It's only been 5 weeks, but I know you have some travel plans,
5 weeks.
yeah, man.
Yeah, I'm on my Semana Santa and Semana Pascua vacation from the orchestra right now, so I got a little free time. Nice chance to relax and unwind. I'm going to do a little bit of traveling here. Not nothing too crazy for too long, but I'm gonna get out of the country here for a bit. And yeah, but I mean, these last 5 weeks have mostly been revolving around my other love, Club Leon's downfall in Liga MX play and their drama surrounding their expulsion from the Club World Cup. Actually, today was their first hearing with the International Court of Sport in Madrid. They had a hearing where they presented their evidence as to why they should be in it, and I think that's going to last a couple more days, and we should have a ruling on that sometime in early May. So I'm hoping for the best with that, because I would like to go see Leon play in Atlanta, in Orlando, and in Nashville in the Club World Cup, but we're just going to have to wait and see how that turns out. And in the meantime, the team is just, after a really, really great start in Liga MX. I mean, I think probably the last time we talked, Leon was in first place. They were super líderes in Liga MX, and now they've fallen all the way down to sixth. They finished the regular season in sixth place, which is still direct qualification to Liguilla, but just the vibes around the team are not what they were. So that's kind of been affecting me a little bit. But on the flip side, we got the Timbers, who are in the midst of their second best MLS start in their history, sitting on 15 points, fourth place in the West. I think their only other better start was in 2013 when they ended up winning the West in the regular season. Either that or 2017 when the same thing happened. I can't remember, but 15 points at this point in an MLS season is rather unheard of for the Timbers. That's we're a notoriously slow starting team. We're a team. It seems like us and the Sounders, we have this reputation for starting off slow, making a great run down the stretch, and then running all the way to MLS Cup. That's kind of how our MO has been. So, it being late April and still, sort of mildly in the Shield conversation is not something that we're used to in Timbers land, and so that has been a nice respite. Also, my Mariners baseball picking up the offense is picking up steam. That's been a nice. They've had a nice start to their season too. So that's been keeping me busy. I love baseball, so it's nice to have the season back. My Blazers didn't make the playoffs. My Kraken didn't make the playoffs, and lots of my teams are in flux. Lots of doubts about what's going on with them. But the Timbers and the Mariners have had nice starts to their season, so that's been keeping me sane while Leon has kind of been plummeting, and other things in personal life and whatever have been a little bit questionable too. But I got my Timbers and I got my Mariners, so that's good.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's funny listening to you talking about what a great season Portland has put together since
Yeah.
playing the LA Galaxy. Because let me tell you, we have these midweek shows. we try to have them like every week, right? And every time we talk to people that come on the show, they're like, "Yeah, man, our team is struggling, and things aren't going so well." And after they play the LA Galaxy, all of a sudden these teams catch fire. Like it happened with Vancouver, it happened with Real Salt Lake, it happened. I mean, with Houston, it's been happening with everybody, and it's like, damn, really? Is that what's going on with this season? Like everybody's struggling, and then they play the Galaxy, and all of a sudden they get better. It's it's
Yeah, well, I mean,
crazy.
I think the West especially is wide open. I mean, it's still early. We're whatever 9, 10 matches into this thing, but it's still very very early. And I think the West is wide open. I have no faith that Vancouver is playing very well, and they're riding their high of advancing to a CONCACAF Champions League semifinal for the first time in their history, and obviously that's a big deal for them. And they're riding that high, and they have some really really nice pieces. I have no faith they will be at the top of the West at the end of the season, though. So I mean, I think the West is very very wide open, especially, and so while I like this Timbers start, I mean anything can happen. They can continue on this path and continue to skyrocket and shoot up the standings and be a Shield contender all season and have an easy smooth sailing into the playoffs, which is something we haven't really said since 2021, the last time they made MLS Cup. Since then, it's been a struggle. It's been a slog, and this time it doesn't look like it's going to be that way. And it's weird. I mean, you get rid of a player like Evander, and it sucks. It really, really does suck to see him thriving with Cincinnati. I mean, he's the kind of one of a handful of players in the league, and a very, very small handful who are not on any, who can change the league or change a match, on their foot. And, they can having the ball in their foot, they can single handedly change a match. There are not a lot of players like that in the league. We had one of them. But we got rid of him, and I don't know, maybe the rumors about him being a locker room cancer were true. It seems like we're playing much more as a team now. We brought in David Da Costa in his place as a designated player. Obviously, he's not, in terms of individual skill and goal scoring, he's not nearly on the same level as Evander is, but he's much more of a team player. He knows his role, and he continues to get more comfortable and get better, and it feels like we're playing a lot more as a team right now. And there's a lot of cohesion, there's a lot of chemistry, and I'm very very curious to see how it can go. I'm a little disappointed this past result we had over the weekend against LAFC. This is a version of LAFC I don't consider to be as good as previous seasons,
Right.
and just the one guy you got to contain is Denny Buanga. Who's the one guy who beats you? Denny Buanga. That was a little frustrating. It should have been a win. It was a draw. In the vacuum, it was a good result. But yeah, in general, I like what I'm seeing from this Timbers team. They had an awful start in the first match of the season. It looked like, oh no, here we go again. But since then, they've really solidified. They've gotten some really really nice away wins. They've got 3 nice away wins here early in the season. I don't remember how long it took for them to get an away win last season. There's a lot of things to like about this team right now, and old Philip Neville, and as much criticism as he's gotten over the years wherever he's been, um, he's, to his credit, he's got these guys playing as a team, and he's standing up for his players. He's fighting for them, and it was a horribly officiated game against LAFC. Lots of questionable calls,
Oh
and
yeah.
he's like, "No, my boys did good tonight, and they deserve better." And so it's I don't know. I don't remember April where I was optimistic at all about the Timbers, even when they ended up having really good seasons and making runs. I just don't remember at this point in the season, where I was optimistic about this team. So it's nice to be able to have that. And it's not to rub salt in the wounds. I know you guys are just not in the same situation with the Galaxy
Yeah.
right now. Not at all. But I mean, you guys have gotten you got a little leeway coming off winning MLS Cup last season, so I don't feel too bad about it.
No, it is really strange, but it's funny because listening to you talking about how excited you are about Portland so far. It's the same we've been hearing from Nathan and Josh, right? Up in
Yeah,
in Vancouver, because they're like, man, we're not used to playing this well. We're not used
yeah,
to being not just top of the Western Conference, but top of MLS. So that is just it's just funny, right? But real quick, there's 2 things you mentioned that I wanted to touch on. The first one is uh, the officiating in that match with Portland and LAFC, because I did watch the highlights and I saw the Denny Boanga that penalty that he got, right. And let me tell you, man,
yeah.
this guy. is infamous for getting into the box, and he always drags that back foot to see if he could get
Yeah.
something. And he, unfortunately, this time it happened again, right? But he
Yeah.
always creates penalties like that. He drives that back foot, just a little bit lingers, and if he feels any kind of like impact, he's done. Right? He just got sniped. It
Oh,
happened to
he's
us.
there may
Yeah,
be nobody there may be nobody better in the league in selling that kind of contact and getting a call out of it. But you have to know that going in. You can't you can't play into his hands in that way. That was the frustrating part of it. I mean, I think
yeah.
ultimately that was right. That was the right call. You have to call that, but you can't let it get to that point. That was the frustrating part.
Yeah, and it's interesting because we were discussing this right now, right? And in the last time the Galaxy played Portland, there was a questionable call or non-call, right? At the top of the
Yeah,
box,
yeah,
even Galaxy fans were like, "Yeah, we got away with one," and Portland fans were like, "Damn it,
yeah.
we got screwed by the ref." And this is when we remember what part of the footballing world we're in, which is CONCACAF, right? Um, Speaking of
Yeah.
CONCACAF, another thing I wanted to talk about, which you touched upon, was about the CONCACAF Champions Cup. Um, since
Hmm.
there's two big matches tonight, I'm curious to know, what predictions you have because um, over here at MLS, you'll be hard pressed to find most MLS pundits or like just fans in general that are going to be pulling for Inter Miami to beat Vancouver. I know Portland, Vancouver, right? The Cascadia Cup rivalry, but
Yeah.
a lot of us are pulling for Portland. I mean, for Vancouver. I'm sorry. And in the other side, I really think that Cruz Azul is in really good form right now. I expect them to move on to the final. So, but from your point of view, what do you think, Lewis?
Um, Man, if it were Seattle, I'd probably have to bite my tongue and pull for Miami. But since it's not Seattle, it's Vancouver. Yes, we have a rivalry with them too, but it's not quite as bitter, I wouldn't say. And they've never. This is a stage they've never really been on before, and they're kind of a lunch pail blue collar team. And yeah, I would love to see Vancouver. Not love, but I would be happy with seeing Vancouver going through over Miami. I mean, I obviously unless you're a Miami fan. I mean, and I'm not even going to say unless you're a Miami fan. Unless you were a Miami fan before they had Messi, I don't buy anybody being a true Miami fan, and I can't stand how the league tries to shoehorn, well, not just the league, FIFA, CONCACAF, everybody just tries to shoehorn that team into absolutely everything. Um, so the sooner they're eliminated from anything is usually better. Whether or not, no matter who their opponent is. Again, if it were Seattle, I'd have to pull for them. That would be the only way, probably. Or if it were against maybe America or a team from or Chivas, a team from Liga MX that I just absolutely cannot stand, then I would have to consider rooting for them as well. But in this case, no. By all means, Vancouver. Why don't they go through? That'd be fun. I would love to see Vancouver in a Concacaf Champions League final. I think that would be really fun. As far as the other side of the bracket, I mean, I'm in a unique position here, and what you say about Cruz Azul doesn't fill me with a ton of confidence. Because guess who Leon's draw in the first round of Liguilla is once the CONCACAF Champions round is over with? Yes, of course, it is Cruz Azul.
Oof.
We will play Cruz Azul in the quarterfinal round. They are on excellent form. We are not, to say the least. So I don't really know what I want to happen here. Do I want them to go through so that their mind is elsewhere? Their mind is more on the CONCACAF Champions League final than it is on Liga MX Liguilla? Or do I want them to lose so they're down and out and we can hit them while they're down and pour salt on the wounds? I don't really know which of those two situations I want. It's kind of a between a rock and a hard place there. No good option. No good option. I do think this season they probably are on paper superior to Tigres. I would never count Tigres out in an elimination setting, though. They always seem to
Yeah.
do well in those situations. Uh, I definitely despise Cruz Azul less than I do Tigres. Tigres is one of those teams. You just like that. Okay, if Inter Miami plays Tigres in the final, for example, I'm going to have to bite the bullet and pull for Inter Miami. I cannot stand Tigres.
Wow.
Yeah,
Damn.
yeah. I'm also not one of those people that's like, oh, I'm a Liga MX stan. So whenever a Liga MX club is in the final of anything, I have to root for them. Heck no, no way. I can't stand that team. Why would I root for them in anything? Like when Tigres played in the final of the Club World Cup a few years ago against Bayern, and everybody over here was like, "Oh, a Mexican club is in the final of the Club World Cup. We must root for them." I'm like, "Hell no, Bayern all the way. I hope they get smoked. I cannot stand them. I hope they get embarrassed. That's not my team."
Yeah.
I have my team. This applies in any sport, in any situation. I have my team. I
Yeah.
want my team to do well, and screw your team. I don't. I have. Your team is not my team, and we are not the same. And this is how I. This is just how I am. These are team sports. You have your team. I don't support individual players either. I would never support a team just because Messi was on it or because Ronaldo was on it or anything like this. No, no. I have my team because my team is my team, and the players come and go. The only thing that is forever is the escudo, the shield, the
Yeah.
crest. That's the only thing that's constant. Everything else comes and goes. Wins and losses come and go. Players come and go. Coaches come and go. The team is the only constant. So, yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to go on a little rant like that, but
No, it's fine,
it
dude.
just
Let it out.
it
It's
just
Leon, man. It's un
it,
Leon.
it,
Rawr.
no, it specifically reminds me of whenever Liga MX club is in the final of anything, or even when Leon has been in the final of something, and they're like, "Yeah, I'm pulling for Leon because I want the Liga MX club to do well." No, you're not a fan of my team. Don't jump on the bandwagon now. You have your team. Go be with your team and let us have our moment. It's really about that, you know. And I mean, I think even I agreed with Gignac back in 2020 when he said, "No, we don't want your support. We're here for Tigres and only Tigres. We're not representing Mexico. We're not representing anything. We're only
Wow.
representing Tigres." And even though I can't stand his team or him, I respected what he said in that moment. So
No, we were
yeah,
glad he won,
just
though.
yeah. In terms of that side of the bracket, I mean, again, I once Cruz Azul is finished with this tie, we play them in Liguilla. So whatever puts them in a more vulnerable position to be beaten by a team that is not nearly in as good form as they are. That's what I want. I will say Leon did play them. That was our second to last match of the season. I was there for that. We were playing them away at the Olímpico Universitario because, ironically, despite them being sponsored by a cement company, they don't have their own stadium.
That's ironic.
That's yeah. It's been the subject of many a meme. Let me tell you. Yeah, they're owned by the biggest cement company in Mexico, and they don't have their own stadium. Anyway, yeah. So Leon, until going down a man, played them very 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 tightly. They actually Leon took the lead in that game. Then our best contención got sent off, and after that, it was we were sitting ducks against a very dangerous Cruz Azul attack. But I will say this about Cruz Azul: they can be vulnerable in the back, and if their connection up front, their Bogushes, their Sepulveda, Bogush, Sepulveda, and who's the other one? I can't think of his name. The Argentine. If they're not clicking, they can struggle to get quality chances. So they're in excellent form, but they can be beaten. And I think this first leg against Tigres will be key. Tigres is always very 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 strong at home. If they take advantage of their home field in this first leg and go up like 3-1 or something like that, then I think it could be difficult for Cruz Azul in that home leg. So we'll see it. We'll see. It should be very very interesting tie.
Switching leagues, switching sports. I just want to give everyone an update because I love the LA Kings. As you guys know, I host News Across the Kingdom here and there whenever I can. And the LA Kings scored not that long ago. Brent Clark put the Kings up on against the Oilers. Sorry, Nathan. He covers the Caps, but he's also an Oilers fan. And him and I were going back and forth over in the last game. But right now the Kings are up 1-0. Let's go Kings, baby. Um. Anyway, any let's see. So I'm just gathering my notes over here. Lewis, sorry about your Seattle Kraken. Their time will come, but for now. Go Kings, go, baby.
It's okay,
Um,
man. I hope you're right, man. Anytime you want to talk, if you want to do a news across the kingdom Kraken crossover, let me know because I love talking hockey
see,
too.
that's awesome right there. Um, so
Yeah.
let's get into our game though, like Galaxy versus Portland. As far as player ability report goes, LA Galaxy has starting to see a lot of players coming back from injury, and this has been a big hot button topic with Galaxy fans, where we're seeing the team struggle from week to week, and everybody keeps saying, "Well, just wait until so and so comes back. Just wait until we start getting our players back." Well, guess what? Our players, for the large part, are back. The only guy that's missing, like that should be there right now, is Maya Yoshida. He's still dealing with hamstring injury. As we all know, those are pretty delicate things, if especially his age. I know we joke about it, right? Hamstring. Well, let me tell you, I injured my hamstring when I was 21 years old, and it was pretty bad. I felt like somebody had like shot my leg or something, and it took me I tried to come back 2 weeks later, and it was really bad. I was out for a long time. I think I didn't play for like 6 months. Well, just last week I was walking my son to school, and I don't know what the hell I did, but I pulled the same hamstring, the same exact hamstring injury from God knows how many years ago. So it just goes to show, if you don't take care of those injuries, they will keep coming back. So hopefully Mayashida takes his time to come back so he's healthy. But he's going to be out, to our knowledge, because the actual availability report isn't released until either late Thursday or Friday morning. And of course, Ricky Puig, who's out with that knee injury, which his return date keeps getting pushed back between July and August. Pretty sure he'll be here for Leagues Cup. As far as Portland is concerned, what can you tell us, Lewis?
Yeah, well, we just got back a couple games ago, not this last match, but the one before. Jonathan El Cabecita Rodriguez, our Uruguayan Astro. Well, he's not quite the Astro that he used to be. He's getting up there in age, but I mean, he's still got great field vision. He's still got great touch. He came on in the match against Sporting Kansas City, and looked right at home. Hadn't missed a beat. And he's already recorded one, maybe even two assists. He hasn't scored yet, but I mean, he looks very, very comfortable. And I mean, he's our best player, I would say. I mean, there's argument to be made there that it might ultimately end up being somebody else. Felipe Mora is in excellent form. Anthony, the Brazilian winger, is in excellent form. He's had a wonderful start to the season. Kevin Kelsey, the Costa Rican, has shown a lot of promise, coming in as to be the eventual replacement for Mora as the target man up front. We've got a lot of pieces that are playing all well at the same time, which is what you need to do well in this league. But I mean, I think Cabecita has that little something extra that none of those guys. He comes on, whether it's starting the match or as a sub, and he instantly makes an impact. And it's nice to add that to the puzzle. We were already playing well without him, and he's just slotted in very, very nicely. It won't be long before he gets on the score sheet again, and it's just nice to add that to the mix. It doesn't. It's not like he's taking touches away from anybody, and he's just making the attack all that more dangerous. Obviously, we had 3 15-goal scorers last season. I don't think we're going to see that again. But it's nice to add that back into the mix, and with him back, we pretty much have a fully healthy squad. And off the top of my head, I mean, I can't think of anybody else we're waiting for who looks to be a key contributor. I mean, we pretty much have a fully healthy squad. I don't expect us to stay that way all season, obviously, but I mean, that will be the biggest difference in terms of Timbers Galaxy, of who you did not see in the last meeting, but you will almost certainly see this time.
Yeah, for Galaxy fans, man, everybody's at a point where you keep hearing, "Hey, mathematically speaking, we're due to win a match at some point, right?" I mean, they can't lose every damn game of the season, right? They can't just get draws the rest of the way. They got to win at some point. So everybody's looking to this next home match as like this is it, this is an opportunity. But I keep telling people, man, it's not easy. Portland is, it's not going to be easy. The best opportunity Galaxy had was in the last two matches against both Houston and Austin, and obviously they didn't win. And now they gotta play their asses off to be Portland, who's in good form. Um, but as we shift more of the attention to this match on Sunday, remember everyone, it's going to be Sunday at 6 p.m., which is kind of odd because we went from having such an early match last week to now the latest match this weekend. Um, All-time records between these two teams. In the regular season, Galaxy and Portland have played each other 39 times. Galaxy has 14 wins, Portland has 11, 10 draws between both. At home, though, Galaxy have 10 wins, 6 draws, and have only ever lost 3 times to Portland. Obviously, the last time these two guys faced each other was in Portland earlier this season. It was a 1-1 draw, which a lot of people felt Galaxy was very fortunate to get that result and escape for win because there was a very controversial non-call, I guess you could say, at the top of the box near the end of the match. And Portland might have gotten a penalty kick. They probably deserved to get a penalty kick. It didn't get called. And that's just the kind of officiating we have to deal with in this league until it gets better. It's something that you're going to hear often, not just from our podcast, but you listen to every other podcast across the league, and everybody's going to complain about the referees. As far as the ref is concerned, and you guys will be very familiar with this guy if you're an MLS fan, if you follow MLS at all on social media. You guys will know who we're talking about. Brian, if you could put up that picture, that'd be great because you guys will immediately recognize this guy. Okay, well, he wasn't able to put it up, but look him up. Okay, the referee for this match is Mr. Philip, however, Dujic, who Philip Dujic, I'm hoping I'm pronouncing his name correctly, is a FIFA-sanctioned referee. He lives right now in Toronto, Canada, but he's refereed in various CONCACAF competitions, Liga MX, the Sub-20. I'm sorry, not just Liga MX. Lewis and I were having a chuckle about that. He's also refereed in the Leagues Cup, Canadian Premier League, and USL. Since 2022, he has refereed in 175 MLS regular season matches, 3 of those with LA Galaxy. Galaxy getting 1 win, 2 draws, no losses, all of those at home, and only 2 matches at Portland with no wins, no draws, 2 losses, all of those on the road. His last match with LA Galaxy was a 3-1 victory over FC Dallas at home on May 29th, 2024. He handed out 1 yellow to LA Galaxy, 4 yellows to FC Dallas, including a second yellow for a red. He awarded a penalty kick to Galaxy, which was taken by Gabriel Peck, but saved by goalkeeper Martin Paz. Galaxy have yet to lose with Dujic in charge. His last Timbers match was a 2-0 loss away versus Nashville SC on March 8th, 2025. He handed out 2 yellows to Portland, 2 penalty kicks to Nashville, which were both saved by James Pantimis. Portland have yet to win a match with him in charge. This is going to be his 9th MLS match of 2025. So far, he has handed out 31 yellow cards. One of those a second yellow for 1 red, and he averages 3.88 yellows per match. He is known for his dramatic VAR announcements, including his however statements, which have gone viral. So if you guys know what I'm talking about, you will know, and if not, you can look him up. Interesting referee. Lewis, I know you mentioned that you don't really pay too much attention to the officials who are refereeing these matches, but uh, the what we have so far, Galaxy have never lost with him. Portland have never won with him. Is there anything there that catches your attention?
Well, I mean, it's just another thing working against us. I was looking it up, and the Timbers. I couldn't remember the last time we'd won in what's now called DD Health Sports Park. I don't even think it was called that. Well, maybe it was called that already by the last time we won there, which was back in 2020, the weird COVID season where a lot of weird results happened. It was a 6-3 win for the Timbers. I will say the times that we have won, in that stadium have been very, very dramatic. The time before, I don't remember. You said it only happened 3 times. I don't remember if the time before that was in 2015, towards the end of the season. A dramatic 5-2 win, which basically sealed our playoff positioning. And we went on to win the MLS Cup that season. So I know that was one of the other. So those are 2 of the 3. I can't even remember what the third one could even be. But yeah, just another thing working against us in terms of the karma, I guess. The outside
Yeah.
the outside controlling forces that have nothing to do with what actually is happening on the pitch. But I'll say this much: we hadn't won in Kansas City, no matter how awful the Sporting Kansas City has been the past few seasons. We hadn't gotten a win there in the regular season since 2013, and we just broke that streak in our last away match. So streaks like that are made to be broken. Maybe it's in the cards for that same thing to happen again at Dignity Health Sports Park. One can only hope. As far as the referee, I wouldn't even remembered him. But I do remember that match against Nashville. Obviously, that was not that long ago. I remember the 2 penalties that he called, the 2 that Pantemis saved. And it's coming back to me, those emphatic VAR calls, because I believe both of them were
Yeah.
penalties that were called to VAR. So now I'm kind of remembering who he is. Hopefully that's hopefully he's due for giving us a match a more favorable officiating performance. So that's all I can say. I'm not counting on it, but one can always hope.
Yeah, one thing we've noticed about this LA Galaxy season is that LA Galaxy has been very, very gracious in giving away stuff to teams. So, like every week, I put together these ref reports, right? And I'll put them on Twitter and Blue Sky, and I'll share them wherever I can. And then I'll run into people at the stadium on the day of, and they ask me, "Hey, Edgar, who's a ref?" And I'm like, "Oh yeah, here you go." And I'll tell them what my ref report is, and they're like, "Yeah, we should win." I'm like, "Yeah, you should win." We're usually pretty good with this ref, and then it's complete opposite during the match, right? It's just like we're living in this weird mirror dimension, this bizarro world for Galaxy fans, where everything that worked last season isn't working at all this season. So it's just too good to be true. I mean, like I said, Galaxy have never lost to this guy. Portland's never won with him. And all these matches Galaxy have won were at home. Portland has always lost matches with him on the road. They just had that weird match, against Nashville. It's too good to be true. I mean, but then we come to it, Lewis. Time to make your
Yep.
prediction because there's a lot of stuff happening. Galaxy is foaming at the mouth for a win. Um, Before we get into it, there was some concern among Galaxy fans because at the end of the Austin match, some of the Austin players went after Carlos Temiro Garces, our center back, and Galaxy and Austin have had a pretty recent history of being a very aggressive play against each other. They've fouled the hell out of Ricky Puig last year. And at the end of this game, I guess some of the Austin players were upset with Garces, who's a very physical center back, and they went after him. Joseph Paintsil got involved. Mateus Nascimento, our new Brazilian youngster, also got involved. And Paintsil threw some punches, and we were saying, "Damn it, guaranteed that this goes going to come down on this guy. He's going to get suspended for at least a match." But no, no suspension. They got fined. Everybody involved in the fracas got fined, but no suspension. So I'm like, okay, well, maybe this is it. Maybe this is like the little pebble that sets off a galaxy avalanche, right? Where like we got a call that should have gone our way and it went the other way, and oh well. And now comes
Well,
Portland. So Paintsil's going to be
obviously,
available,
yeah.
and
Obviously, I wish he had gotten suspended. He's obviously the player
yeah,
that makes me most nervous out of anyone on the roster, and he obviously didn't play last time. So yeah, that would have been that would have been a real solid done for Portland if it had happened. But thankfully for you guys, I guess it didn't happen.
yeah. So Royce is back. Paintsil's back. Peck is playing like very frustrated right now. He hasn't been playing at the same level he was last season. But Lucas Sanabria, our midfielder, who had come in to kind of fill in the void left by Puig, he didn't play against Portland last time because he had just suffered a broken collarbone. He's also back. Mateus Nascimento, who started the season injured, he's a Brazilian forward. He's also back. So a lot of people that you didn't see the first time against Portland, they're all back. Are they playing well as a team? Not really. But this stuff changes week to week. And well, Lewis, prediction time. I'll let you go first since you are the visiting club. You're the our guest. So how you have first crack at it?
Yeah, I think Portland is going to retain their good form. Form is so very important in this sport, but especially in this league. And we're in very very good form right now. We had a little bit of a setback. We were up 2-0 and then 3-2 against LAFC and could not close the deal at home. That was frustrating. But I mean, I think the guys are going to want to get right back out there and bounce back from that. And I think they will. I think we get win at Dignity Health Sports Park since 2020. But I don't think it's going to be a blowout. I don't think it's going to be easy because I hear what you're saying. I think Galaxy are going to be fighting as hard as they can to end that winless streak. I think it's going to be a 2-1 in favor of the Timbers.
Oh my God! Extend our agony, Jesus! When is that win coming? I think I mentioned on Sunday that I've been keeping track of all my predictions this season. These are predictions that I either made on the midweek show or that I've made elsewhere on other as a guest on other podcasts. And so far, I'm 70% correct on all my predictions. But most of those, most of those have been draw. Actually, all my correct predictions have been losses and draws. So it's like, damn it, Edgar. And every time I predict a win, we end up losing. Right? I predicted a win against San Diego. They lost that one. I predicted a win against Orlando, which they should have won. They lost that one. I predicted a win against Houston, which they should have won that one. Ended up in a draw. So what's it going to be this time, Edgar? Am I going to predict another win that's going to turn up into a draw and a loss? Yes. Yes, I have to. I have to at some point. This team has to win at some point. It has to be now, please. We're gonna bring a brujo. We're gonna bring like we used to have like on the show. We used to have a girl like at the end of the show that we have a picture of her like twerking on the field at the stadium, which is kind of weird. I think there was something from a lingerie league or something like that. We need to bring her back and do a limpia at the stadium. Have her like twerk on every goalpost and and like in the corners of the stadium or something to like get all that salado out of there, man. I mean, I wonder if the guy that's like that does the field work is a Cruz Azul fan because I mean our results have been so bad. I mean it's allows, but anyway, yeah, I'm predicting a Galaxy win. Obviously, my head is saying, "Damn it, no," but my heart is like, it's got to be time, man. So I'm gonna say, yeah, a very tight, contested 2-1 Galaxy win. Um, and if they don't win, don't be surprised. Don't panic. It's a long season, but damn, it's getting to that point where they're gonna have to go like on the winning streak of all winning streaks. Um, but it's weird because Lewis, this team, it's not bad. That's the thing that's so weird and frustrating. They're not bad. They're not playing bad. They're just not playing good enough. They're not doing the little things or like things that would go for them in the past. Like they're not going for them. It's almost like they used to get lucky breaks. They're not getting those breaks anymore. And so everything that has gone wrong, that could go wrong, has obviously happened. And so it's been both frustrating and fascinating at the same time. Where as a fan, you're frustrated, but also as an observer, you're like fascinated by like, wow, I can't believe that they haven't won a game. But we'll see. This weekend will be interesting. Hopefully, we get a good turnout at the game, and looking forward to seeing another great match between two teams that have developed a good history with each other. Portland and Galaxy doesn't have that same spice as Seattle. For some reason, everyone has some kind of issue with Seattle, right? But we always love playing against the Cascadia teams. Hopefully, we get a nice contingent of Timbers Army. We love seeing them at the
I'm
stadium.
sure you
Always
will.
adds,
I'm sure you will.
yeah. But
I was thinking about being there myself, but then I made other plans. But I know there will be a good
Lewis,
contingent of Timbers Army there. Yeah.
buddy, we would have welcomed you with open arms. We would have rolled out a green carpet with like forests lined and everything with nice little logs and everything, man. I mean, that sounds kind of weird, but yeah.
Let's keep that on the back burner for a future occasion, shall we?
Playoffs? Playoffs.
Maybe
Talking about
playoffs.
playoffs? Right? Hopefully.
Yeah.
But hey, Lewis, thank you so
Yeah.
much again for joining us, man. We love having you on here. We know you said you're going to be traveling. We wish you safe travels.
Yeah.
And you also said you're in the middle of the season for your orchestra.
Yeah.
We wish you a fantastic season. Hopefully, I mean, I wish we were like living closer so we could go and listen to you. I mean, I love classical music. I love sitting there and listening to live music in an orchestra setting. And it's kind of hard to get out from where I live out to the LA Philharmonic in downtown LA. But one of these days I will. I mean, I go to the Galaxy game, so I should shoot down there and watch Gustavo Dudamel do his thing, right?
Absolutely, you should.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But for everyone here, hey, thanks again, Lewis. We really appreciate you. Tell us if anybody wants to follow you for both Timbers or Club Leon in English. Tell us where they can find you and Gotti and the rest of the guys.
Yeah. Facebook, Instagram, just my name, Louis Olnick. I'm also on Threads. I post there occasionally. Most of my Club Leon interaction is on Tinder. Not on Tinder. No, just kidding.
Look at you, you're turning red, man. I love
it. on Twitter, or also known as X, where you can find me at Louis R.S. Olnick or my hashtag Fiero Viajero. I post almost exclusively about Leon there. But if you're interested in that at all, you can find stuff. You can also find me and my colleagues, Kari and Carlos, at the Lion's Den podcast. We do an English language podcast about Club Leon. We haven't recorded a new episode in a few weeks. Our schedules kind of get a little hectic, and we don't. Sometimes we'll go for a bit without recording an episode. But you can find us there, and on the social media for that, you'll always find my pregame videos and all that kind of stuff, and some other content from the Leon matches near and far. So I think that's all the places.
Yeah, I have to say, I like watching when you travel with Leon, your videos before the game, because you always show up for these games and you show us a little bit of the stadium and what's going on and the atmosphere, and I think that's really cool. One of the things that we try to do here in the midweek show is try to share some of that club culture, right? So people understand, we're not just playing against a team. This team that's on the field, but you can learn about them as part of the club culture, of MLS. And from what you're offering right there, you're offering a window into Liga MX that a lot of people maybe don't have an opportunity to view from here in the United States. So, hey, Louis, thank you so much for, what you do, man.
No, thank you guys for having me on anytime. And there's going to be a lot more Timbers Galaxy matches in the future, or Leon Galaxy matches even, Leagues Cup and all that. So, yeah, anytime you want to have a discussion, I'm here.
Thank you so much. And from everyone here, from News Across the Galaxy, from Bryant and Edgar and the rest of the Nag boys, thank you as always. Keep on nagging, and baby, Wu-Tang for life. Let's go.